And yeah, so we're just going to have a celebration that evening. We'll probably do a puja, and then we'll have various different things. We'll work out the plan for that. But so that you can put that down for your diary. It'll just be a celebration thing for the particular day that's in it. So that'll be the 13th of November. But I'll send out more details about that. I'll send out more details about that probably tomorrow, actually, because what we're going to do is find out if we have any singers among our group or people who can play instruments. We had a bagpipe player on. I don't know if any of you remember that. Billy played the bagpipes for us there. So maybe he'll come on again and play the bagpipes for us. But if there's any musicians there or poets or anything like that that would like to do a little recitation that evening, we hope to get a few people that can, sing a song or play a guitar or play a bagpipe or do something. But don't worry, I'll send the email out about that in the next, I'll send it out tomorrow, actually, if I get the chance. And then if any of you would like to join in that celebration, we can do that on the 13th. And we'd be happy to have any talented people or poets or songwriters or bards or anything that's out there come along, Let's see, we're getting some messages in. Yes, Andre, sorry, I have it recorded. Anna Carey, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, hopefully it will be. Are there any spaces left in the thyroid webinar? No, there's lots of spaces left in the thyroid webinar. We never get booked out now with the internet. So just go on, Breda, and book it. It's just people booking in all the time, but we're not going to run out of spaces. It's nearly impossible to run out of spaces with Zoom,
Sonia has an interesting suggestion to do a seminar on various herbals like triphala, turmeric, ashwagandha, pipali, shatavari, how to use them and how to combine them. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, lots of times they're prescribed by doctors, so it's really when you have a consultation that you'll be told how to take those things. But if the doctors want to do something like that, we could do, but generally they're very specific for particular things and they're prescribed in a consultation. Dr. Naheed, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Great.
Where are you? I don't see you. You normally pop up when you say something again.
Hi, Noel.
Oh, there you are. There. Okay, yeah. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. And then it's just Reginder. And okay. Yeah, Breda, go ahead, Naheed.
Yeah, this can be an important topic, how you can use like turmeric and like some of the common herbs like in your daily life. And ashwagandha, shatavari, they are very specific, but like other than that, like pepper, like turmeric, like cumin, how you can use, like we can do something on that. Yeah.
Okay, that's, yeah, we can do an evening on that. All right, yeah.
Hi, Ian. Yeah, The Prime is a great book, all right, and the lady who wrote it is very much integrated with the Maharishi Ayurveda perspective and uses the Maharishi Ayurveda products. So it's a great book. She suggests raw juices. Good for you, Ian. Well, we have no problems with raw fruit juices. Well, we would. No problem with raw fruit smoothies because you get the fiber in the smoothie. You don't get it in the juice. And if you don't have the fiber, you get sugar spikes then from fruit juices, and they're not a good idea. But to be purely Ayurvedic about it, if you're using vegetable juices, I would suggest that you then heat them up and have it as a soup, because then you've cooked them. But always in Ayurveda, the whole foods are better. So you include the fiber in the vegetables, and the fiber is a very, very important nutrient. And we're only beginning to appreciate its value in promoting the bowel flora and keeping it healthy. So I probably have a slight little argument with her about the raw juices.
Okay, so we've 104 on and grown. Oh, we've lost somebody. 103. Back up to 106. Okay, so it's a part of a cleanse and not ongoing. Okay. Abby, there's a question for you, Dr. Naheed. Abigail Rowe.
Yeah, so this about Trikatu. So Trikatu is a very good digestive herbs, and it is very good to balance your kapha as well. So if you are looking to stimulate your Agni, then you should take it before your food, at least 15 to 20 minutes before your food. And if you're looking to just enhance your digestion, then you can have it after food. And yes, you are right. Long-term use of pepper is not considered very good for the health. But the trikatu, it has a combination of other two herbs as well, and but still they are very, they have a very scraping kind of nature, trikatu altogether, that can do a lot of dryness into your body. So long term use of pepper, it's not recommended. You can give a gap, like you can put a gap, you have it for 2 weeks or something, and when you feel a bit better, then you can stop it, and then again you can start it for a while. But ask your physician, they can guide you better how you can go on and off with the trikatu.
Hi, Dr. Rajvinder is with us now. Hi, Dr. Rajvinder.
Hello everyone.
Okay.
Nice to see you all again.
So that's all our doctors on.
And I think, hi Anna, how often you see your Ayurveda doctor, even if you feel good, it's nice to talk about Ayurveda anyway. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I think if you feel better, every change of season, if you're not dealing with anything, and if you're having any problem, then as recommended by the Ayurveda practitioner, because they give you lifestyle, diet and herbs, and they have a time that they want to check you again within that 2 to 3 weeks, and they initially for 3 sessions maybe, and then then they can start kind of prolonging the session, and then they'll tell you now you don't need to see, and then probably every change of season if you're not clear.
And Briga asked, what is the best time to have Chavanprash? You can have it in the morning after your breakfast, and you can have it, in fact, in the evening as well. And you can have it with, with a little bit of warm milk. You have to boil your milk, and when it comes into a warm temperature, then you can have it with that, or you can have it with simply the warm water, the plain warm water. You don't need to add anything else.
Sonia, I answer your question, yes, but it depends on, maybe you don't want to boil the amla for too long. You just boil the other spices, and then you can add the amla if you're using the powder. Yeah, probably you're using the powder for the tea anyway.
Someone's asking about following a Vata diet or a Kapha diet at this time of the year. Well, now it's more Vata season, and then when we go into January, you can look at Kapha. But this season is very, very Vata season, and it's definitely changing now. You can feel the weather changing and the wind and everything. It's becoming very wintry. So Vata people need to look out, wear a hat when you go outdoors, because your ears are a very Vata organ, and it's very windy, and so Vata dosha needs to look after itself, because it can become very disturbed at this time,
Yeah, you have to keep yourself warm. You have to keep your ears like very close. Wear a cap or a hat. Use your muffler, and you can massage oil. Oil massage balances your vata. You can add some warming spices in your diet, like cumin, like turmeric, like ajwain, the caraway seeds. And you can do nasya, because a lot of wind goes inside all the nostrils, and that can imbalance your vata. You can use nasya to protect your nose. And and you can have milk, warm milk. You can use ghee. You can use dates, that has a both cooling and a warming property. You can use raisins to keep your vata in balance. So it's yeah.
For any of you that haven't done an Abhyanga or haven't started doing that, then just start that. Just do one and see how you feel. Just do one Abhyanga just to see how you feel. Warm sesame oil, warm Vata oil. Just have the bathroom nice and warm. Just massage it into your body, on your face, on your hair, all over, and just leave it. Get into a tracksuit, then leave it there for 10 or 15 minutes, and then go have a shower, and just see how that is, especially if you're a Vata type. Especially
I'll add into that, Julian. You said you are Kapha Vata, so I presume you are Kapha dominant, and Kapha and Vata are very opposite to each other, and that could be a nightmare to balance the diet. I can imagine the confusion there. So this is the Vata time of the year, so definitely warm cooked meals. Doesn't matter your Vata, Pitta or Kapha. So no salads, no cold water. So all the advices we're giving for Vata, that's what you follow. And then because of the dry time of the year as well, you do add some healthy fats. If you choose ghee, if you choose sesame oil or avocado oil, and maybe less of the coconut oil because it's more cooling. So more kind of healthy fats and maybe more nuts and the grains as well, because your body wants to preserve the heat. So for kapha, you still be avoiding too heavy fats and to avoid dairy, cheese, and yogurt. So just be more careful. And kapha is more stimulating spices, and vata is mild. So on that side, just stay in between. So follow the mild spices in the diet. I
Okay,
hope
there's
it's
a-
clear. Confusion.
There's a lot of noise coming through there. Is that coming from maybe someone else is unmuted? But anyway, it's not coming from any of the doctors' houses, no. So there must,
No.
yeah, there must be. Yeah, maybe there's
And
someone else.
Jay asked, can we get question now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Jay asked, is Nasya means Jalaneti? No, Jalaneti is a different thing. Nasya means application or installation. Installation means you are putting by drop by a dropper, or by a nozzle kind of thing. So Nasya means installation or application of oil inside your nostrils, and Jalaneti is a different thing.
Okay, so I think we're ready to start with our video. Time is moving on here. So unless any of the doctors have anything else they'd like to say, I mean, we can handle the questions afterwards, but I think we should start with the video. Okay, so this is lesson 4 that we're going to be looking at this evening. So if the doctors just let me know that we have the right screen up and everything, that everybody can see it.
Yes.
15 minutes long, so enjoy everybody, and then we will start. An awful lot in there, so that's why we're suggesting that people do this course more than once. And actually a lot of you are on your second or third time doing it, because there's just a huge amount of information in there in relation to the daily routines. So lots of questions coming in.
So the first, juicing head of celery every day for cleansing to heal. Is it better whole? Corrine, yes, it'll be better whole from an Ayurveda point of view. Sonia, how much immune boosting herbal drinks should be taken daily without overloading the body for release of free radicals? Sonia, it's going to depend on what herbal boost you're using, what herbal drinks you're actually using.
He's talking about the Ayush one, the one we made, the Ayush Kada.
And what would you say to her then?
I would say you just sip it through the day. You don't have to make a big mugs and drink it. You make like a half a liter, sip it through the day, or just make 2 cups, because they are warming herbs, the cloves and cinnamon. So you can't overdo on them, and you start feeling too drying, or a bit of maybe too much of heat building up in the body. So 2 cups enough, or just sip it through the day.
Yeah, and do not overboil the herbs, because they can be very warming, and they can produce some kind of heartburn kind of thing, because they'll increase your pitta. So just boil it for around 5 minutes, or maybe you can just make it a coarse powder, and you can store in a tea bag, and just in warm water you can dip, like same as like you do for your tea. So I think that will
Very
not
nice.
be like overdone. Yeah.
Jess asked how to balance pitta problems like acne and temper when you have a kapha heavy digestion which needs pitta enhancement. Well, Jess, what it needs there is digestion enhancement, and there are pitta reducing herbs like amla which will also strengthen digestion. And so it's possible. Basically, you can strengthen digestion in many ways without necessarily using lots of hot spices. And at the time you eat, the way you eat, what you eat, and then digestive herbals. So it's quite possible to do it. And Anna Carey has a few questions, but could doctors recommend good asanas, meditation, pranayama practices to do before bed? Lovely. I mean, very settling for sleep, to do a very gentle 10 minutes of a sequence of very gentle, relaxed stretches of yoga, and then some little analomana, pratilomana, breathing exercise to quiet prana. I would say do not do TM just before bed, because it could wake you up and give you energy. But it would be nice, to do this sort of sequence of muscle relaxing, tense, work from the feet up to the head, tense a group of muscles, hold the tension, feel it, and then relax. Then the calves, tense, hold, and relax,
Yeah,
and
quick
then the
relaxation.
thighs, and then just work up the body. And you just notice the contrast between the tense and the pure relaxation. That would be a nice sequence to settle you for sleep. Right, Wendy, you were going to say.
Yeah, that's a quick relaxation technique you're talking about. I advise it a little bit different way, but that's a nice way as well. So you just tense up your whole body from your toe to tip and just release in one go. If you have any stress and anxiety, that's a wonderful way. Otherwise, if you're talking about asanas, you don't do very strong asanas like sun salutation or any of that. Just use baby pose, or you can do the bridge. You can do the half dog. If you're familiar with the downward dog, just do the half dog, or you can do the shavasana, the what you call the
Of course.
restorative one, and then you just do the humming bee with it. You don't do strong nadi shuddhi, alternate nostril. Don't do that. Don't do any of the strong breathing. Just the humming bee, and just kind of a little bit of self reflection, and read your book and go to bed.
Actually, if you can't get to sleep at nighttime, if you're in bed, like, and it's 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock and you're just not getting to sleep, then get out of bed and do 2 sets of very, very slow asanas. And there is a sequence that we have that we're taught that Maharishi actually gave us, and maybe I'll do a class on it someday. They're just a set of postures. They take about 10 or 15 minutes to do. They're very, very beautiful, and they're perfect for doing at nighttime. And they're perfect for doing if you can't get to sleep. Just get out of bed and do them, and then chances are you'll just fall straight back to sleep. And one other thing, Abby asked before that video, the last few weeks I've been waking up at 3:30 and I've not been able to get back to sleep. Any ideas why? Well, I think your question was answered during that video. So that would be increase of Vata in an increase of Vata time, you know.
And Abigail has a similar question because she doesn't sleep so well after a liquid day. And the liquid day is very light, Abigail, and it's bringing up your Vata a little bit. So during the liquid day, make sure you're not actually putting yourself under pressure or straining. Do it on a day you're very relaxed. Maybe if necessary, take a little rest in the afternoon. Certainly do the oil massage that day. And so use foods in your liquid day that are settling to Vata. And so that combination should make it comfortable to do the liquid day and not upset your Vata, so you're able to sleep.
And use extra ghee. You can use, if you're making khichdi, just add extra ghee that balance your Vata. Maybe you don't need to do that often. Sounds like you're very Vata, Abigail.
And then Anikari asks, should we use Vata heavy qualities on a liquid day? You know, she's then thinking of healthy fats like avocado, nuts, seeds. So, Anna, no, that goes against the idea of a liquid day because those foods are hard to digest. And what we're doing that day is taking it very easy on the digestion. It's like instead of putting coal on the digestive fire, we're putting a little straw and timber. So nuts, seeds, avocado would be too heavy for that day, but you can look at the Vata reducing foods and choose foods, vegetables, fruits, grains that, or vegetables or fruits that are Vata reducing, but light.
Some people, I have to go
Yeah,
back.
there's a question about is oil pulling is same like gargling? No, that's different. So gargling means you are taking liquid up here, like in your throat, and oil pulling means you are keeping the oil or the liquid just inside your buccal cavity. You know, you're squeezing oil and just inside your mouth. You're not taking over here. So if you're taking any liquid over here, that's called gargling. You can use sesame oil or coconut oil for oil pulling. Either of them is fine.
The interesting thing there is that there seems to be more research done to show that coconut oil is that little bit better for gingivitis. And also the evidence shows that it cleans the teeth and the oil pulling from whatever oil you're using, and the cleans the teeth and helps clear plaque. But coconut oil seems to be that little bit better for the gingivitis. But then you see, from an Ayurveda point of view, we're using the oil pulling for greater purposes than just cleaning. You know, the oils are absorbed and nourishing. So the sesame oil will probably be better in the sense of being best for teeth, because teeth are a Vata structure. But the oil absorbed has an influence in the whole face, and Ayurveda describes even the complexion is improved by the oil massage, and it helps all sorts of vata problems in the head area, headaches, the whole works. So it's a very good thing to do.
And Linda is saying, what is the reason for a baby to cry from birth to 2? Sounds like a very vata baby. So you might need to massage the baby's tummy, may not be digesting, and make sure the baby has no problem with the milk, what kind of milk you're giving. If you're feeding your own, then that's fine. But if you're giving any formula or cow's milk, sometimes baby could be sensitive and they might have trouble in the tummy. So watch the baby's tummy.
And
Very
massaging babies is a great thing, and it's a traditional thing in a lot of countries. Actually, there's little videos on it as well, how to massage a baby properly, you know. So it's very, very good for their vata and strengthening their bones.
In fact, in India, some people appoint especially, especially some people to just massage their baby when a new baby born to a house, like maybe 1 time or 2 time in a day. So that's a good thing to do to strengthen your baby's bone, your baby's muscle, and overall better development of your baby.
Can I tell my little massage story about my 2 little nephews who were 3, 4
Yes.
years old, twins, that I used to massage? They'd see me coming in the door, come running to me and say, Don, can we have the moustache? Can we have the moustache? And then we had an agreement that that I would massage them first, and then they would massage me.
Wow.
The massage that they were to do to me was I was to lie flat out on the big double bed, and they were to walk all over me. And when they're 3 or 4, it's absolutely lovely massage, actually. But it's hilarious because they keep falling and laughing, and they think it's so hilarious. But I hadn't been with them for a year or 2, and I went back, and we were doing the same thing. And the next thing, they'd grown, and I was murdered with their massage. That was the last time.
So it's very age relevant, that massage. Yeah. Actually, someone sent me a message privately here. I won't say who their name is, but they're just talking about dandruff. Their son has had dandruff for 4 years. They've tried all shampoos and coconut oils. I mean, I have an idea what they could do, but if one of the doctors want to take that,
You share your idea first.
well, I'd say it's a very vata thing, dry scalp, you know. So I would think maybe a vata shampoo and vata hair oil might be very good for it, you know. Vata hair oil, I use it myself, you know, but it's not just for the hair, it's actually for, it gets absorbed through the scalp and everything. So, and it's made of, there's a lot of different herbs in it. So that's what I would be personally recommending, vata massage oil and vata hair oil. But maybe some of the doctors have some other tricks.
I would say a bit of neem oil drops into the vata massage oil. The vata hair oil, because then it could be, depends on the reason why, if it's vata or is it some kind of maybe infection or something like that. So then you need to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And the radiant skin tablets probably be helpful from the internal.
Okay, well, if it's a real problem, I mean, it's not a nice thing to have dandruff, especially at 24. Like you'd be, well, at any age, I suppose, you might be, you know, a bit wary of that. So, I mean, if they want to have a consultation, they could have a consultation with one of the doctors, and they could be given a lot of things that they could do to help.
Yeah, try the massage and a kind of a shampoo, and I think there will be a relief anyway.
Yeah.
When you put the oil on the scalp, leave it on for a few hours before you wash the hair. So when you're going to wash the hair, do the oiling, leave it on a few hours, then wash. Poonam on the north coast of Northern Ireland is suffering the cold and chilblains. Oh, chilblains are horrible. I remember them as a child. The thing is, it's going to be underlying a vata problem. I would suggest using hot spices in the foods, because the hot spices in the foods can promote circulation, can help the circulation. And then I would be considering the oil massage regularly as a protection against the cold and to balance the vata. I don't know if you have any more things to add.
And some of the herbs like gotu-kola, ashwagandha, they are very good for it's a poor circulation. And make sure you're not eating salads and that kind of cold foods, even early when the season changed, the last bit of summer, you make the transition a bit early if you're living that side. And yeah, a bit of golden milk. So you need to improve your circulation. So there are lots of different herbs and tonics to improve that. And yeah, so you can do, and massage, of course, before before you go to bed, and more woolen. Maybe you need to
Warmer
develop
clothes.
socks.
Present
Oh,
clothes.
she's using the clothes all right. Karen was wondering about should you take the dosha from the age you are or how you have been throughout your life. She's 62. Karen, I think what would be better always and more pragmatic is to see if there's any particular dosha out of balance and balance that first. So if you're 62 and you're in a vata time of life, if you have any vata issues like insomnia or chilblains, then you balance that vata. And when you're balanced, you can start to think, what is your innate nature then? And that will be something that will have been present throughout life, really.
That's a really good point, Dom, and it's a really good question as well, because I mean, I've said it before, the first time I did the dosha test, I came out as vata, and that's not my innate nature. So you could be 62 in a vata time of life, and your problem is that you're completely impatient and angry with the people around you. And that's not a vata problem, that's a pitta problem. So you're in a vata time of life, but whatever your lifestyle has led you to be, has led this increase in pitta, and that's what you need to address. It's nearly more important not to, be too caught up about what your nature is, but what your imbalance is. Because when you get rid of the imbalance, your nature will come out naturally anyway, So it's all the different disorders are associated with different imbalances. So anger and impatience are not vata things, they're pitta things, So it's looking at what that is. And the good question there, I use vata massage oil. I love it. Do I have to shower it off? Maybe one of my answer would be eventually yes, because it draws toxins out as well. But Dr. Brennan, how long do you think you should leave it on for? What would be the max?
20 minutes would be lovely, actually. If you can leave it on for 20 minutes, even 10 minutes would be great. But if you leave it on for half an hour or more, part of the function of the oil is to nourish your tissues. You absorb and it strengthens you. But some of the massage oil will actually be re-excreted onto your skin, because your skin is an excretory organ and it uses the oil to help it to excrete fat-soluble toxins. So now you need to shower them off, because if you don't, over time you will reabsorb the toxins you had previously excreted. So that's why it works in that vein: oil massage, heat, and then wash the oil off.
But a certain amount of the oil is still going to be ingrained in the skin, and it'll still, especially in the winter, it'll still help you to feel warm, Sorry, Dr. Naheed.
No, go ahead. So Azar asked, what is the best Ayurveda caplix for lazy eyes muscle beside Triphala? And I have seen her asking her this question quite a few times. So you can use licorice, which is called Yashti Madhu. So Yashti Madhu has a very cooling effect. That's very good for your eyes, because eye is an organ of Pitta. And that also has a property of strengthening your vision. Along with that, you can massage. You can do a head massage. You can do a foot massage, and you can take Nasya. All this thing, the head massage, the foot massage, and Nasya has the quality to enhance your vision. So all together, Triphala, Yashti Madhu, and the massage can help you to strengthen your vision.
And also there's Netra Tarpana, I think it's called, where but you couldn't do that now. But when we're out of lockdown, then come and see Dr. Rajvinder or Dr. Naheed and have or your local Ayurvedic center and have a.
She's based in UK.
Okay, well, there's lots of centers in the UK, so go up to.
There's an Amla Berry tablet as well, MA1, MA001, I think.
MA1, yeah.
That are there.
Sonia asks about, for Vata Pitta, which should she use, Anu Nasya or Neti Tarpana? So a flush with water of the sinuses. I would tend to reserve that to situations where I had sinusitis or allergies or something. But I would definitely recommend the Anu Nasya for everybody, because it's just a tonic, nourishing situation.
And there's a question about, Dr. Rajvinder, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Dr. Brennan is right. Jalneti. Some of the yoga people, they do it regular and they tend to do it too much because it's recommended. It's one of the Kriya part of the yoga. So maybe you are practicing yoga and that's why you're wondering. But around this time of the year, if you don't have your sinus blocked, because naturally with the cold air, you build up dryness. So then the Anu tail is better. And I just recommend on that. Few people are asking, is the MP16, the nasal drops we have, Is it same for all the 3 doshas or they're different? That one is the same for all the 3 doshas. But if you find it too strong, some people do, they can use a base oil. So they can either use ghee, or if you're very vata or too much of dryness, or use a sesame oil and then use it regularly if you don't have any blocked sinus or anything.
Yeah, and the MP16 which we have, it has the composition similarly to the Anu Taila. So Anu Taila has been used in India, you know, it's been sold in the name of Anu Taila. And that's really good to balance your, even if you're Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So that combination is really good, MP16. You can use for all of the doshas.
So Anna had a lovely question here. Some people with chronic disease, serious injuries are always still kind, patient and peaceful. Is this a tridosha state of mind, even if not through the physical body? A lovely question, but it brings out, Anna, that there is in reality similar dynamics for the mind. You've got 3 Vata, Pitta, Kapha in the body, but the mind has got Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And whereas we call Vata, Pitta, and Kapha 3 doshas, they're actually considered impurities that have to be balanced to give us a pure system. In the mind, Rajas is excitement or excitation. Tamas is dullness or heaviness. Those are doshas of the mind. But Sattva is absolute purity of consciousness. And so some people naturally have a lot of sattva. So they're very courageous, kind, compassionate, strong minded. And that's what you see in these elders or these people with serious disease who can be just override the whole thing and be so wonderfully wise and compassionate and kind, despite their own personal physical traumas. So, and I suppose that's why we're all meditating, and we're all actually ultimately using Ayurveda to bring a balance, to bring the sattva quality into our whole awareness, so that we become that sort of a person. We'd all love to be it.
Yeah, actually, Karen Pirrick touched on that. I mean, she said that you know, properly doing all these daily routines will, you know, hold back the aging process. She said instead of starting to feel old at 60, maybe you start to feel old at 75. But regardless of how long it holds it back, you're still going to start feeling old sooner or later, you know. So to have a good mental attitude to that mortality and the fact that, you know, their sickness is, or, you know, some things are going to happen, but to have a good mental attitude towards life, there's no reason for that not to be there at any stage, just in that awareness. And that would be a sattvic mind as well as a healthy body, you know. But eventually the body's going to give up. That's just
yeah, they were all going to die, but I tell you, I for one don't want to cause my own death.
Yeah.
And this is what we're about in Ayurveda. We don't want to cause our own dying. And if we eat rubbish food and live a crazy life, we're causing and bringing about our own premature and miserable death. So let's live long.
That's the knowledge. That's the knowledge is there to bring you awareness. And you slowly becoming more awareness of the quality. And some people, we may not have all the sattvic, rajasic, tamasic quality. Just realize what state you are in and then work from there. Like Ian said, Dr. Don, you're already there.
Oh, Ian, good for you. I wish I was.
No, you have a lot of sattva. Yeah.
Yeah, he is actually.
And Anna asked how long to wait after evening meal to meditate. So it's going to take an hour and a half, 2 hours for the food in your stomach to move along. So I wouldn't be meditating for maybe 2 hours after a heavy meal anyway.
Better to do your meditation before your evening meal.
Yeah, if it was something very light, fire ahead, and then yeah, I'm caught up with all the ones I had written down. There's only now 42 new messages.
There's a question about is diabetes associated with a particular imbalance? So if you see it as a Morgan perspective, then you see that comes under the heading of metabolic disorder. It means whatever you are eating, your body is not able to transform it to eliminate it the way it has to be. So if I go to Ayurveda perspective, then the similar thing happens. Your Agni is not working properly. Your doshas are not in balance. Whatever you are eating, you're not digesting it properly. You're not making your tissues properly. So yeah, so imbalance of your Agni and your Kapha doshas and leads to diabetes.
So
Mhm.
Anastasia is giving us the excuse. I'm sure you've heard it, Dr. Naheed, Dr. Rajvinder, that it's very dark in the winter and therefore we shouldn't be out walking. Well, in the winter, you should be taking your exercise. So the darkness is no excuse. You have to find either, if you don't like that, then find another exercise.
Especially when the full moon is out, it's lovely. You go a bit early. Go a bit early. 6 to 10 is. It's like if you leave around 5:30, 6, it's still not that bad. Yeah,
Yeah, and Francis Jones points out that a torch is very useful.
and do in the morning time, 6 to 10 in the kapha in the daytime. If you don't like in the evening time, it could be for especially if you have cold hands and feet. So I can imagine it is unpleasant. Yeah, but it actually heat up. It warm up your hands if you do a brisk walk.
And
Somebody's saying what?
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Keep going.
What is golden milk? So I just say that golden milk is either the normal milk or plant-based milk. You just put a bit of turmeric, and then depends on if you don't sleep well, then you put a bit of nutmeg, bit of poppy seeds, and ashwagandha. So that you take like maybe 2 hours before, two and a half hours before you go to bed, and that help you with sleep, with arthritis, a lot of different issues. So that's the golden milk. We have talked about it so many times, so I thought that's why I mentioned it earlier. So
Joan asks what's seasoned sesame oil. It just means preheated once to 100 degrees, which makes it more penetrating and a better antioxidant. And McGean asks, do you recommend anything for a constantly running nose? I would say this Anutila, this MP16 that we were talking about earlier on, I'd use it 3 or 4 times a day. Your nose will run even more, but it, after a couple of weeks, should help to sort out any issues there, and then it should settle down. But if it only happens when you're outdoors and exercising, it just could be a natural response to the cold provoking your runny nose.
Karen asks about, is Ayurveda helpful for dementia and Parkinson's? Well, absolutely. I mean, and we ran a webinar there a while back on brain health, So they're Vata-related conditions, and the best thing you can do with dementia and Parkinson's is prevent them from growing. There are treatments you can do if you happen to have them, or that can help deal with them. But the best thing, as with everything in Ayurveda, is prevention. And I think I'm correct in saying, maybe Dr. Brennan, you can correct that, but they're very much Vata related.
especially people avoid fat, too much fat. So don't do that mistake. Have healthy fats, because Vata people, they tend to not to take fats for the body image or whatever. But after 50, it's very important to have fats in your diet if you're not doing that before.
Eating fat doesn't make you fat. Eating too much.
Yeah, moderation. There are different type of fats. It's not have to be butter or ghee or anything. There are lots of different type of fats.
The question comes up a couple of times looking for an Ayurvedic book. So,
and somebody already mentioned Vasant Lad. That is a very good book, Science of Self-Healing. And Dr. Brennan's book is very good if you're a beginner.
Yeah, I put that in the chat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And then there's Woman's Best Medicine, Nancy Lansdorf.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Ayurveda Suffers Healing, the Hari Sharma and Christopher Clark.
Yeah,
that is
that's a great book. Yeah,
that's a wonderful book for general, for men and women.
Yeah.
Can liquid day potatoes in the soup on a liquid day? But potato will be allowed. Maybe for Irish people.
That's why I didn't answer.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Brennan answered.
Well, potato is not the best of foods according to Ayurveda, but if you're going to have it,
on a liquid day.
I think it'll be relatively light, wouldn't it? You get away with it.
Well, just in case of nightshade, if you're doing it for arthritis or any other problem, if that's why you're doing then maybe go for sweet potato.
Sweet potato. Yeah.
So someone asked about alcohol de-addiction in a young man aged 26, heavily dependent on alcohol. Yeah, very tricky one. they have to come to the realization themselves that there's something that they have to do. I would strongly recommend meditation, but someone like that is not going to go to meditation. You know, you won't be able to force them to go to meditation.
Lots and lot of Shirodharas.
Yeah, but they have to be willing to do those things, unfortunately. But don't help them in their addiction. That's one thing I would say. And lots of people do that. They help people in their addictions. They make excuses for them and they support them in all types of ways. That's not letting that person face up to the fact that they're in big, you know, that they've trouble. So don't bind them to their karma would be one thing. But yeah, if the person is willing to make changes and wants to make changes, then fine. There's lots of things you can do, but they have to be willing to do that, you know.
Anastasia, what do you recommend if the itching recurs in the small of the back? Now, she's visited an Ayurvedic doctor, 8 Ayurvedic medicines. It was a little better. After finishing therapy, taking Ayurvedic medicine is the same. First thing I'd recommend is this. This is fantastic, right? Honest to God, the pure delight of it.
Dr. Brennan.
You can pick them up in an occasional chemist shop.
Very handy.
Right? Yes, yeah. Now,
I
Anastasia,
want for Christmas.
yes,
Yeah,
a
I'll
Christmas
present
for
that.
yourself. Okay. The next thing I'd recommend is, I think that's a situation where a little bit of panchakarma could be very helpful because the skin is trying to detox constantly. And if we could clear the toxins through a little home panchakarma varechana treatment that any of the doctors could advise, then it would be something, though, that would be done by an Ayurvedic doctor, not something to do, you know, unless you've had advice. But that will be the next step, I would think.
Oh, you might have to continue the herbs for a bit longer. You said you took the herbs and you stopped them. So sometimes it's the impurities, the ama in your blood tissue. So Dr. Branning's advice, yes, you might do a home treatment, home detox, and you need to continue the herbs for a bit longer. Maybe you let them go too early.
Am I correct in saying that addiction would tend to be a pitta disorder?
I would think often it is, because people get
Yeah.
obsessive.
Yeah.
And then, you know, often the addiction, you see, when you go out of balance, you tend to do the thing that is absolutely the wrong thing. Your imbalance influences your thinking, you choose the wrong thing. So addictive substances really impact the liver. Alcohol, drugs, the liver has to detox all of these. The liver is a pitta organ. So it's the pitta people who would be more vulnerable to the inflammation that would then imbalance them and cause their thinking to get obsessive about the addictive substance. So often I find it's pitta.
And are there any specific herbs for addiction is a question there?
The balance of pitta. And so, you know, fun in life, joy, laughter.
Often there's a lot of underlying anxiety, a lot of different issues that need to resolve. So there's no one quick fix for that, really.
That's a very tamasic, you know, Dr. Brennan was speaking about the dosha of the brain, a very tamasic quality of the brain. So you need to have indulging to more sattvic kind of diet, and you know you need to balance your tamasic doshas as well. There's a question about hair loss, like thinning of hair in the middle age. Yes, Vata hair oil can help you to increase circulation into your scalp. That will lead to, strong your hair follicles. And along with that, you can use healthy hair and nails. Dr. Rajwinder had a very good result with one of her patient. And along with that, you need to focus.
6 bottles today. She ordered 6 bottles today.
She had fantastic results. I'm not surprised. You showed me the pictures. They were incredible.
Yeah, I often prescribe it for nail problems, and inevitably it's a lady who comes back and says, that herb was great. And I say, how are your nails? Oh, no, it's my hair.
You know, even nails, very good result for nails as well.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Dr. Nahid. Yeah, that is a good herb.
Yeah, and along with that, like Ayurveda has considered hair loss, the main 2 reason of the hair loss is your pitta is not in balance and you're not making enough rasa. So rasa is the finest product of digestion. That's your first tissue. So you need to focus on your agni and to balance your pitta. And of course, the vata hair oil and healthy hair and nails.
Okay, folks, we're getting to the 9 o'clock hour here, so I think we're going to...
I just take one question. I find it interesting. I want to see Dr. Brennan or Dr. Nahid's view on it. It's say, if your nose runs and your feet smell, you're upside down.
That's from me. Oh, that's from BOD. Well, that's one possible explanation for it.
What you say, Dr. Ryan?
Uh,
Is it very kappa? Nose run and feet smell. It could be very pitta kappa situation here. Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
joke more so than
It's
anything.
all about pitta imbalance.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and
Okay, that's it. Okay, everybody. So that's great. So look out for the link. Now, I'm getting a few emails through. People can't find the links, but they're going to everybody. So just check your spam folder and everything. We'll be on again next Tuesday. I'll be sending out some emails. Any singers, songwriters, people recite poetry, anything like that. We'll be asking you if you want to do a little slot on the Dhanvantari Day celebration. I'll send that email out to you tomorrow. And then anyone that wants to do something, if Billy's listening, we'd definitely like to have the bagpipes again. That was very nice that evening. But if there's any musicians out there, or better still, anybody can even play the sitar or anything like that, that'd be
Any creative artwork as well. Anything on the Dhanvantari Day. That's kind of a
okay. So that'll be
Diwali.
the 13th of November, but we'll obviously be talking to you before that anyway, you know. Okay, I'll put this up on YouTube. I'll send you the link in the morning. So that's great. Have a great weekend. Thanks a million to our doctors. Early to bed, everybody.
Sue already said she's gonna do a song, so I already have one participant.
Oh, we've got somebody doing a song, have we?
Yeah, so there you go. We're gonna have lots of fun.
Good. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Namaste. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on next Tuesday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
bye.